Hello, my name is Tone Maguire. This is a movie I've been filming, from the lava fields in Hawaii off to Bali, Indonesia with the dancers and temples. I was filming a movie for Netflix that was going to show all the festivals and celebrations there were on the different islands in the Pacific Ocean. While filming in Cebu, Philippines, I was invited to the detention center to film the world-famous prison dances that were dancing to a song by Michael Jackson. So there were copyrights, so I could not use it for my movie, so I added one I wrote called Honey later. It was wonderful seeing over 1,000 prisoners dancing to music. I decided after filming this, I would go to a place I had heard about called Puerto Princesa, Palawan in the Philippines. After landing in Puerto Princesa, I was stopped at the luggage carousel by 3 people holding a sign saying my name. I was told that a Mayor Edward Hagedorn wanted to see me and to come with them. So before I could go the next day to El Nido to meet my wife Mary Rose, I was going to a party to eat chocolate cake. So I decided to do an interview to find out his story.
How did you go about putting all of this together?
Actually, I'm only talking about Puerto Princesa,
Oh.
capital of the province of Palawan.
Perfect.
We're in the middle of the Long Island province of Palawan.
Gotcha.
And I took over in 1992. I think everything was providential, because when I was delivering my inauguration speech, that was the first time I ever spoke in public. First time. I was even, I think, I don't even know what I'm talking about because for the first time I faced so many people.
When was this?
This was in 1992.
1992.
I ran for mayor in 1992, not because I thought I'm going to win, but because I just want to give a problem to the mayor then, who was there for 27 years. And I feel he hasn't done anything good for the city, so I said I'm going to fight as mayor. But it's like, David and Goliath. I was a neophyte, I never worked for the government before, I'm an undergraduate. But I wanted to bring change to the city. And so it was in 1992 when my friends pushed me in the political arena and I tried my luck and I was so surprised I won. I won. And that was the beginning. Because I never worked for the government before. And
What was you doing before you decided to get into government?
well, we can say I was everything a mother wouldn't like her son to be.
Enough said.
And so when I became the mayor, I was so humbled by that experience because I'm not from this place. Actually, I was born in Manila, in Metro Manila. And for the first time, the people elected a mayor who's not a native of the place. So I was thinking maybe I was there at the right time, right place when people wanted change. And for a while I thought I'll just, take it easy and just let it flow naturally. But when I became the mayor, I felt I had a great responsibility for the people. So out of gratitude, I told them I'm going to protect the resources that rightfully belong to the Palawanis. And so that's what started our environmental consciousness drive. It became the center of our administration thrust to protect the environment. And we started hitting on all the illegal operators here, the untouchables, And I'm happy that with the support of the people,
You cleaned it up.
we're now, being very, very successful. As a matter of fact, Puerto Princesa now is the center of all the study tour of the different local government units. They all come here to learn from our experiences, from the successful programs that they have. And I was surprised the tourism has jumped up from 12,000 in 1992 to 297,000. And that's how big it is. And when we got the independence from the province, there was a huge jump in the influx of people, investment, and even airlines. Before we had the independence, we only have 1 flight a day. Now we have 9 flights, 9 flights a day, and we're now being used as a model by the entire country. when it comes to environmental.
You must be proud of yourself for having such.
Proud of our people.
Yeah.
Without their support, it would be very difficult. I don't think any mayor will be able to succeed without the support of the people. But we have to be firm. We have to be doing it by example. We cannot say one thing and do the other. So when we go around, slowly I will show you the different stages of our administration.
Wonderful.
And we started from a very dirty city where the crime rate is going up to the present. And as we go along, maybe we can talk.
Yeah, first he asked the councilman to give him a few months, I think a month or two, to show them what he can do. And then next is he told me, clean the city. So he told me to be the street sweeper, and I became the street sweeper. So with my sister and I, we started going around, monitoring, looking at some garbage, etc., etc. And then that started Oplan Linis.
Ah, so that was one of the first programs.
Yes.
And because of there only being such a small amount into the coffers to help, he went out and spent that on brooms and stuff for the people to use.
Right.
And then he made some new laws in about being fined if you threw litter. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Everything here is a no.
Yes.
Illegal is a no here.
Okay.
There are no bargainings when it comes to illegal actions. We've come up with ordinances that really would be tough on those criminals or those who would violate the laws. When you say illegal logging, illegal gambling, illegal fishing, illegal mining, no mining, you've got it. Anything that would destroy, the environment, that would be bad for the people, is a no-no.
So the mayor introduced me to Dr. Jerry Ortega to show me how the programs were set up and worked.
This is the place called Honda Bay, and the people here are basically fishermen by profession. Back in 1992, most of them are engaged into a lot of illegal fishing activity. But thanks to Mayor Hagedorn, when he came into power, he talked to them and convinced them to help him in his agenda in tourism and environmental conservation. And they have given up their fishing activities that are not very good to our environment, and they took part in a community tourism business here.
So you're self-sustaining,
Yeah.
and this has gone from before where they were illegally fishing
yeah.
to now being a sustainable thing where everybody is profiting in a positive way about it and saving the environment.
Yeah,
So the fishing boats have gone into being tour boats now.
yeah.
Kind of like swords to plowshares, right?
There's a proliferation of crown of thorns here. It's also them took it upon themselves without the government paying them. Gathered all the crown of thorns in the coral reefs of Honda Bay, voluntarily doing it without paying. Fishing activities are not very good to our environment, and they took part in a community tourism business here. And they have organized themselves into Honda Bay Boat Owners Association. They have converted their fishing boats into tourist boats. Okay, and so they are now organized. They are registered with the government, and the business, as you can see, is being administered by the women of Honda Bay. These are not college students, these are not graduates of any particular course, but through their experience, they're able to manage their business like a corporation. And this corporation is owned by the community, and all of them are benefiting from it. So, and then they take care of the environment. To me, this is the highest form and the full maturation of democracy in the Philippines when small communities like this community are taking part in the governance and the conservation of nature.
What do they call this special place now? Is there a name for it?
There's a name for this reef called Pambato Reef,
Which means
which means it's something to be proud about. Okay, a place that they can compete with other beautiful places in the world.
and how did this name generate itself?
It's just them. They said this is something to be proud of. They thought of a name. It's them who gave the name.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Edna, the monitoring officer here. She goes around to see that everything is in order.
I'm also the one of officers of on the Bay Boatmen Association.
And Manang, she is the officer of the day.
The dispatcher.
Dispatcher.
Dispatcher. Every day we stay here to dispatch the tourists to go at the island.
We want this place to be a model for community-based sustainable tourism, especially in coastal areas in the country.
This is like basically ran by the women. They tell the men what to do.
Majority of the members are women. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Dr. Jerry Ortega was saying Mayor Hagedorn made changes for the entire community that before, when the community was exploiting the fishing practices by dynamite and cyanide and special nets, now you can see the tourism cars that are bringing all the tourists to take them to show all the sights. So I had a talk with Jerry Ortega for quite a while, and I was impressed with how the mayor was setting up all the foundations for people to take over the businesses for themselves. I decided to take a tour boat to Snake Island. Warm air, warm waters, a secure, comfortable trip. A clean, warm, nice place. I was also trying to find out things about Mayor Edward S. Hagedorn, all the projects that he had started and was doing, and how everybody was following him. As I was driving around, I could see it was absolutely the cleanest place that I have ever seen in my life. After I got to this Snake Island, I could see that there were other boats here also, enjoying the same thing. I couldn't find anything on the ground, no bubblegum wrappers, no cigarette butts, nothing. It was just spotless everywhere I went in the city, and the mayor said it was because since he started office, it had been where everybody was aware of keeping the city clean. So that's what everybody grew up with, a clean city. I was enjoying my time. I truly was enjoying everything that I was experiencing in the city of Puerto Princesa. The boat ride was really relaxing, seeing so many beautiful sights. I was really enjoying myself, but what I was experiencing was something new. I've never met someone like Edward S. Hagedorn before. I'm from the United States. I never met any politicians doing as much as he was doing to help his people out in my country. There's people that are nice and people that are extremely nice. That's where I put Edward Hagedorn. He was in a class all of his own. All he did daily was to think about the needs of his people, what he could do to help, and when he couldn't help, he always gave them hope. On the weekends, the hotels would fill up and he would put on a show with the dancers and singers to explain all of the programs that he was putting together and was working on so others could enjoy them also. And there was always somebody from a different part of the Philippines coming to take notes on what Edward Hagedorn was doing. And experiencing being able to swim with the whale sharks was quite a thrill. I was really enjoying myself. Swimming with a whale shark was something I had not expected to do. So large and comfortable to be near. There were manta rays with 8 to 10 feet wings gliding through the water. A jellyfish and schools of fish. Small sharks lying on the bottom and beautiful coral reefs. The Tubataha Reef was the second largest reef in the world to dive in and enjoy moray eels, and schools of fishes of different types swimming everywhere. It was amazing seeing so much beauty. There was a beautiful spotted eagle ray gliding through the water. After diving, I was heading back past Pambato Reef to the landing where my tour started after having a wonderful tour to Snake Island. It was truly a wonderful trip. I could see the new Coast Guard station at the landing that the United States had built for securing the oceans from pirates, illegal fishermen, terrorists, and overall safety. I was able to experience the largest pearl in the world. It was incredible, £75, 1 foot by 2 feet, worth over $1 million. And it sat underneath the fisherman's bed for 10 years, and then it was brought out. I was learning about his programs like the Feast of the Forest, where the people planted over 2 million trees. I saw his presentation of how the seas would rise in Manila 1 meter from climate warming by the year 2050. How the Bay Watch program had 1,800 violators apprehended and 400 put in jail. Dynamite fishing was stopped, and a program that put hybrid solar and wind turbine lamp posts to light the highway to make it safer for the citizens to drive at night. Mayor Hagedorn certainly was making ecological changes to Puerto Princesa for everyone to enjoy. He created award-winning housing programs that would help the squatters find a home, and fishermen that before were doing illegal fishing to now doing tour boats. Ellen Hagedorn, along with Edward, had a program that cleaned the city garbage so well that they had the cleanest city in Asia. Absolutely amazing. He was developing electric trikes to replace all the trikes being used in the city to reduce pollution. Winning many awards such as the United Nations Global 500 with Al Gore at the award ceremony at the United Nations. He built 8 satellite hospitals for the rural barangays, so medical care for all would be available. Many awards and everywhere beautiful sunsets for all to enjoy. Droughts and calamities never happened until recently. The landfill was an example that other cities were copying. The rivers were clean and compared to Manila's that were full of garbage. Manila's rivers were terrible. He built daycare centers and libraries for the public to use. He was making models for sustainable development, having the love affair with nature where the newlyweds would plant trees before they would have a free marriage. We'll see more of this a little later on in detail. Tourism was really doing well. A lot of that was because of the underground river being made famous by Mr. Haggerton. Agriculture and fishing was high, and everybody was having a good time with the Opla and Linus program was a big success, having the cleanest city in Asia. It was a miracle all the things that he had put together had finally come to fruition. Logging all the trees that were cut down, all the slashing of burning was all over with. But the big thing was underground river. And that's what was bringing the economy and the tourist to new levels of success. I was invited to the crocodile farm that Dr. Jerry Ortega had put together, and I was going to be educated on what the farm was doing. This is a giant crocodile as I first entered. It was amazing. Now we're going to go to our guide and he will tell us what's been going on here with everything and what they do here at the crocodile farm and how they are raised.
It's used for commercial farming for the skin because they have the best skin. And then we also have the endemic indigenous. It's not a very big crocodile.
The Philippine crocodile has a length of 2 meters, you tell me.
Yes, that's our indigenous crocodile.
Crocodiles.
And this is mostly one fish. of the, if not the most endangered crocodile in the world right now. So
And you have how many of these being raised here now?
around 600.
600, so you're really saving things here.
Yeah.
That's great.
Last year we released 50 individuals captive bred here in the farm back to the wild. So hopefully we'll jack up their wild population so that they can.
There he
they can
is.
be,
Now he's upset. And they're protected from hunting and so on because of the laws here?
Yes, by law.
Yes.
But in practicality, it's very difficult to assure their protection.
Yes. So you have king cobras on the island just roaming around.
Yes.
Merry
We
Christmas.
have
After my tour, I was able to go to the area where they had the alligators for everybody to hold. I got a picture like everybody else did. It was after that I have to tell you about the story on how Jerry Ortega, who was murdered during the filming of my movie, the governor had been upset with Jerry Ortega because he was telling all the people about the illegal mining, and the governor did not like that. Because he was involved in it, so Jerry was murdered. The mayor, Edward Hagedorn, had sent people to find the murderer, the person that was responsible for this, that led back to the governor who hired the murderer, and the governor put a contract out on the mayor to kill him. It was at this time that I was with the mayor, and a lot of people just weren't coming around anymore because they were scared. But the mayor stuck to his guns, and he finally got the governor arrested and the people that were responsible for his murder. I had been with Jerry many times. He was to be the voice-over for my movie. I was deeply saddened by his loss, and a good friend that I had come to admire for how wonderful he had been helping the mayor and the people of Puerto Princesa. Here is the murderer. This is where I met Dave and Diana. They were the people that were helping the mayor develop the electric trike, so there would be less pollution in the city of Puerto Princesa. These are the designs that they were creating. I was able to ride in these, and they were really, really quiet, really economical. So this was one of the many programs he was developing to have cleaner air and less pollution.
Well, good afternoon. I'm Jordan Clow, and this is the Irawan Canopy Zipline. We're here in Puerto Princesa City in the Irawan watershed. It's actually the flora and fauna protected area of the Irawan watershed. And actually this used to be a quarry site. This used to be called the Crusher area, but we have turned it into our Irawan Eco Park. It's not just a zip line for zip line's sake. Actually, we have the Irawan Eco Park, and so the whole idea is it's a zip line in the forest canopy, literally riding right on top of the trees. A lot of these trees didn't used to be here, but they were replanted.
It was after the zip line and visiting the butterflies where all the families used to come with their children to learn about and get educated. Then I was introduced to the sanitary landfill that everyone was copying throughout the Philippines. I went to where there were the classes that were going on for people from the different barangays, showing where all the different refuse and the plastic was, and how things were working overall, so I watched some classes that they were taking so they could take the knowledge back to the barangays to pass on to the people. I was enjoying all the programs that the mayor was putting together. It was about time for me to visit the underground river. So I was getting myself together to go to the underground river. I was remembering all the stuff that the mayor had told me at my meeting when I first met him, and along the way, with all the other people that I had met that had been telling me, such as Jerry Ortega and other people that work for him, Becky Labitt that was in charge of tourism. So I was reviewing all the things that I remembered, and how he had worked so hard to help the city and its tourism. How he went to UNESCO and had the underground river listed as a heritage site. He was able to get it in the running for the 7 natural wonders of the world, so he lobbied really hard for everybody in the Philippines to text and add their vote, so they were able to win one of the places for the 7 natural wonders of the world. It was clearly something to be proud of. This started out as a fishing town with malaria and diseases, a prison, and the largest leper colony in the world. During World War II, the Japanese had a prisoner camp for the Americans. It was a terrible place. But now everything has been changed around from 1992, when he took mayorship and promised the bishop he would change his ways, and did a 180-degree change in the other direction. And not doing any of the gambling rackets anymore. Keeping everything environmentally pristine. He was quite a man. He could write with both hands at the same time, so you needed a mirror to read it, so no one else could read it. Quite an intelligent person. So here I am, just thinking about all of these things. All the awards that he had won that I had saw in City Hall on the wall with all the trophies and certificates, this was a fraction of them. He was quite a man. He had done a lot for the city. There's no doubt about it. So as I was looking at my drone shots that I was taking of the beaches, I was noticing how beautiful and pristine they were, how there was no refuse anywhere, just beautiful, beautiful beaches and foliage everywhere. The largest forage coverage was still in Palawan, and the mayor taking over, making everything ecologically sound and stopping all of the illegal logging, the illegal fishing. All of the stuff that was going on that was bad for the environment he had brought to an end. The waterfalls that were just coming down with people that were able to go swimming in different areas when they found pools. So eventually, I ended up to the starting point of the underground river, where everybody launched their pools. Here I was seeing the beautiful launching point to take the tourist boats to the underground river, about a 20-minute boat ride to the entrance of the cave. And I'm looking at all the drone shots that you're looking at now, seeing beautiful beaches and showing the launching point for the underground river. And now I was finally off to see the underground river. And so my boat would, taking the 20-minute ride, get there. This was a very unusual thing for me to experience because there weren't many places in the world like this at the time of this film. And it was the largest underground river in the world. Here I was seeing the beautiful launching point to take the tourist boats to the underground river, about a 20-minute boat ride to the entrance of the cave. There were monitor lizards along the way and monkeys that would steal anything left unattended. Take glasses off your face. It was there that from a launching point took a small boat into the underground river cave where everything changed.
Ah, shucks. Hala, namamalo yan.
Here I was entering the cave. Beautiful stalagmites and stalactites everywhere, and here discovery by the Leventi group was a 20-million-year-old sea cow. This discovery changed how everybody viewed the things that were found in the oceans 20 million years ago. This is a cow with the square snout. It was so dark without light, you couldn't see your hand in front of your face, lots of bats and graffiti from way back when. The column of stalagmites and stalagmites were just breathtaking. This is quite a beautiful place. The silence was just amazingly quiet, the underworld. Beautiful. I really enjoyed my trip in the underground river. There's so much beauty of a different kind of a world that I've never seen before. Mayor Hagedorn had taken this place that he discovered and had it registered as Eco-Heritage Site for the world. And now it was being taken to the 7 natural wonders of the world to be one of the winners. About to meet the man that created the 7 natural wonders of the world.
Okay. My name is Bernard Weber. I'm the founder and president of New Seven Wonders. It's an organization I have founded in 1999, and the first campaign, the New Seven Wonders of Man-Made, were officially launched in 2000. And that campaign ran for 7 years, till the 7th of July 2007, which was 70707, and ended with 103 million votes collected from all over the world, and defined the new Seven Wonders of the world, opposed to the ancient Seven Wonders, which were declared by a single man 2,200 years ago in Athens, Greece.
Fantastic.
Here about Port-au-Princesse, of course, I learned about the activities, about Mayor Hagedorn. I did not know that before. Port-au-Princesse Underground River, in fact, was a surprise candidate. It's an underdog, so to speak, because it's not an iconic natural site. It's not known in the world. But for me, it is equally important, even more important, because the aim of this campaign should also be to draw attention to places and sites that are less known. And when I learned about the activities of Mayor Hagedorn, I was very interested of coming here and see with my own eyes what this man has realized. And he's the living proof that if one person is motivated and determined to do something, in this case to foster the ecology of this island, to keep a good balance between nature and human beings and development, I think it's the proof that one single person with a good team can move mountains and can make a big difference. And I wish that Port-au-Princesse gets voted by the people, because I think it would encourage Mayor Hagedorn to continue what he's doing, and he will have a big push in terms of incoming tourists and interest in this place. And I'm sure the remaining time he is in office, at least he will be taking good care, and he will meet the challenges that come with that, with the influx of people.
Beautiful.
The pride of Palawan, and now it is the pride of the world. It has officially been named one of the new Seven Wonders of Nature. May I also thank Mr. Weber and his organization.
President Aquino came to visit the underground river with the mayor to see for himself what all of this was about, because they were trying to be one of the 7 natural wonders of the world winners. And he was coming there to help stir up a lot of advertisement and getting everybody to vote and text their votes and how important that was. So while he was there was a small celebration with the dancers. That was always a celebration to greet everybody that came.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, may we request you, His Excellency Benigno S. Aquino III, so we can immediately start the program.
Our idol, Mayor Ed Hagedorn, who if he ran for president probably would be here instead of me.
Mr. President and distinguished guests, I am proud to introduce to you the most loved mayor of Puerto-Princesa City, Mayor Edward S. Hagedorn.
His Excellency, President Benigno S. Aquino III, President of the Republic of the Philippines, we wish to acknowledge and profusely thank His Excellency, President Aquino, for being the first president to have visited the underground river in his first term of office. And that is to promote the underground river as one of the candidates of the new 7 Wonders of Nature. 12,000 tourists when we started in 1992, and projecting around 1.5 million tourists within the next 5 years. Everybody we approached Father Chet Villarin and the Manila Observatory to conduct a greenhouse gas inventory of Puerto Princesa, the first of its kind in the country, thereby confirming our city's commitment to sustainable development.
Behind closed doors, the ambassador and Mayor Haggerton talked a lot of business, and then the Honourable. Leslie Bassett came along to talk over the turning over of the Coast Guard Centre that they had built for us. Here they are signing the papers for the Coast Guard and training facility for law enforcement. This was quite a deal, because before this there were not boats or any of the equipment used on the high seas that was greatly needed for everybody. And you're about to see some of that pretty soon. This was a big facility that was built, and it was going to help train the Coast Guard and the law enforcement that was needed. A step up from what was there before. So after the papers were signed, Leslie Bassett gave a speech. Mayor Hagedorn gave a speech. And everybody was enjoying the handover of the keys to the city to Leslie Bassett and the Celebrated. We had the singers there singing away. It was quite a ceremony, lot of happiness. So as we sit in the airport office with Mayor Hagedorn, waiting for the planes to come with the dignitaries and Harry K. Thomas, our ambassador from the USA, there's moments to reflect on all the things that have been going on. Security is everywhere. Dogs police people that are involved in being the security for the ambassador no matter where he goes. Everybody's here, and I'm hoping to talk to some of these people. So as the band gets ready to play the music and everybody gets off the plane, I'm going to go check everything out. So as Harry K. Thomas gets on the tarmac, we're seeing the governor and the mayor meeting him, getting ready to take him inside the office, and the event turning over the Coast Guard station is very close to happening. This is taking a long time to come from the conception of the Coast Guard Training Center and the Coast Guard building, and all of the boats that were donated by the United States to help protect the seas in the Philippines to stop the poisoning of the fish.
My name is Tyler Truby, and I'm the Acting Program Manager for the Department of Justice International Criminal Investigative Training Assistance Program, known as ICITAP, here in the Philippines. What we're doing is we're assisting the Philippine National Police, the Maritime Group, in their maritime domain awareness and security. ICITAP's main goal is we're an international police development organization. We've been tasked with funding from the Department of State, Department of Defense, and other United States government interests to assist the Philippine National Police with the Maritime Group. Well, awesome. Well, I'm glad. So they're oh, okay. But you know, it's something that is very, very important to us and to the Philippines. It's domain awareness. And
but then we were getting ready to meet Harry
K. Thomas. 7,000 islands. And,
this was an important meeting because he was coming to officially turn over everything to the mayor.
Combat the war against terrorism and international criminal syndicates. Thank you very much.
Good to see you. How you doing? No. What movie is it?
It's going to be The City in the Forest, all about Puerto Princesa, the mayor, how he took office, and people like yourself coming to help expand the horizons of this country.
Oh, great. Happy to do it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Tony.
Pleasure to meet you, sir.
So after my conversation with the ambassador, I head off to the ceremony where turning over the Coast Guard station is going to be. All the troops are lined up and ready. The mayor's there ahead of time. All the security has been taken care of. And here comes the ambassador now with this entourage. Tyler Truby and the ambassador are handing out medals to the special forces. Everybody is celebrating. Then we're heading off now to the main Coast Guard station, where everything's going to be turned over. Mayor Hagedorn is given his speech, and papers are being signed. And the key to the city is passed on to the ambassador and Tyler Truby, and appreciation for all that they are doing for the city of Puerto Princesa.
Our stewardship of the ocean and the coastal ecosystem.
So off we go with the Coast Guard to look at the beautiful boats that the United States government has given them to protect the ocean seas from pirates and terrorists and the poisoning of the fish. It's just a good trip all around, because I've been looking forward to riding on these boats. But first we go to Snake Island, where there's a section that they're still planting mangrove trees, and they're checking that everything is okay. But on the way, we get a call for an emergency, so we had to go to that first. A boat had been sunk, and so we needed to get it out of harm's way. So with all his training, one of the guys jumps off and takes the rope over and ties up the broken down sunken ship so we can move it out of the way slowly. While that's being done, I'm get to see how these boats can perform and how fast these things can go and how they can turn and how they really can do their business. So it's been a thrill watching these guys do what they're supposed to do. I'm not allowed to show their faces, so those have been covered. It's amazing how agile and how fast these boats are with machine guns on the front and navigation equipment and radar. They're ready for just about anything to come into the bays. It's amazing the agility of these boats. But then, we have the love affair of nature every St. Valentine's Day, where everybody can come and get married for free. All they have to do is show up and plant mango trees at dawn before they get married. So every year, hundreds of wonderfully happy lovers are ready to get married and honeymoon. The dawn is absolutely gorgeous. Everybody grabbing plants and joyfully joining in the planting of the mangroves, millions of them planted over the years, helping to protect the environment, along with the smiling faces of hundreds of soon-to-be newlyweds. The mayor is giving speeches with his wife, passing out tokens as presents to all of them, help them celebrate the wonderful wedding that they're having and can always remember. People everywhere smiling and enjoying this St. Valentine's Day love affair with nature. After planning, everybody gets their seats and listen to the priest's prayers of hope and gratitude to everybody. For the cakes are all there in the beauty queens. A happy St. Valentine's Day that hundreds of these people will never forget, and one heck of a honeymoon night. Every year they do this, hundreds and hundreds of people show up, and they plant thousands of plants. Cory Quirino is there, a television spokesperson that's very famous in the Philippines. Ellen Hagedorn is always next to the mayor helping out, doing everything she can while the mayor gives speeches, all about encouragement and hope and prosperity, lots of celebrating. So hundreds of people having a wonderful time getting married. And as the weather looks like it's changing, they all don't seem to care. Even in the rain. There's Nigel Cozen's 21st Century CEO. Group photos are taken afterward, speeches are made, and even in the rain, singing in the rain are all these people, enjoying their wedding day, a wonderful thing to remember. It's wonderful how everybody pitches in. We'll navigate to the Batak Visitor Center. This is the Batak tribe that has lived in the forest forever. This is a visitor center, and these are the things that they make in order to help supplement the income. My guide here. Navigate to the Batak Visitor Center. This is the Batak tribe that has lived in the forest forever. This is a visitor center, and these are the things that they make in order to help supplement the income. My guide here. Boom is not only my guide, but my translator. She is showing me what's been going on here. Beautiful handmade items for sale, and of course, the little beauties that are hanging around.
Yes.
I greet my old elder here, and as women beat the drums. The young boys sitting down, little embarrassed because I'm here. They are getting ready to do the dances that they've seen the elder do. He's beating the drum, showing the beats for the young girls to practice, while the boys get ready to come out and start dancing the sword dances that they've learned from their parents over the centuries. It's easy to see those smiles and all the happiness that these young children are showing. I'm really enjoying the feeling that I'm getting from this tribe. With this dancing and learning all of the ways that they've been taught over the many generations, it isn't long before I'm asked to join them. I go out there and try my best, but these boys are much better than me and having so much more fun doing it. You can see the beautiful architecture of the building that these people have built in order to have a community center. And up in the bushes, right there is my guide from the Batak tribe, bringing down the branches that they use to take the leaves and dry off, and then they take them and they weave them into baskets that you see in the travel visitor center. So as the day moves on, and more of the tribesmen come back to the village, there's more instrumentation being brought on, and more rhythms given, and more things being taught by the elders. Young boys are dancing, music is increasing, and everybody's having a good time for the generations going on. You can see the old teaching the young and the dances. The elders get out there and do the sword dances that they've been doing for decades and decades. So as the music plays on, you can see the group called the Up With The People that have come to visit the tribe. Everybody is dancing and having fun. My day has come to an end, and it's been full of joy and happiness learning so much about these beautiful people called the Batak. There are many times that on the weekend, the mayor would put on the shows where he would be explaining in his slideshows all of the things that he was doing with his programs, and how Puerto Princesa was advancing into the environmental future. He had Seneca, the band, playing music, and the culture dancers there dancing. The audience was always captivated. It was fantastic, watching the audience, looking at the cultural dancers, and captivated by the music. The mayor would be sitting here with his laptop and putting on a slideshow that he put all together for everybody to see, and having phrases from the Bible that would accentuate everything he was talking about. Sometimes the shows that were put on were in the smaller hotels, so the dancers were confined to a smaller area in order to perform, but nonetheless, they put their hearts into it, and the audience always did appreciate what they were doing. More often than not, the mayor would get up there and sing along with Seneca the band. He really liked singing a lot and performing. Over the many years that I knew the mayor, we would get together and have our little jam sessions and sing. He had a lot of fun playing music with us. So the first year I met the mayor on his birthday, I was invited to go with him to the hospitals. So it turns out that on his birthday, instead of getting presents, he wanted everybody to donate to the hospitals, to help the poor and the needy. So he would go to every hospital on his birthday and pay the bills for the poor and the unfortunate, behind closed doors with no press, nobody there, just doing it, because it was the right thing he felt to do. I was beginning to feel he was an amazing man. I was beginning to wonder if there were any flaws at all. He's just so perfect in helping everybody. He was one heck of politician. So here is where we meet Maria Espinosa, better known as Nanang. She was main secretary since 1992. It was because of her that I was allowed to go to so many places and do so many things. So here's a special thanks to her. So Mayor Hagedorn goes to more hospitals during the day. There's 3 more after the first one we went to, and he does the same thing. Visits the poor and the needy, gets in the car, and goes off to another one. So there were many birthday greetings for the mayor, and he would go around to all the rooms. This is the driver that worked for him that was about to die, and the mayor was trying to have his life saved. In the hospital, he never forgot anybody, and all the nurses, all the doctors, they knew how kind the mayor was, and everybody was glad to get a picture. Along with that, he was a very religious man going to church on his birthday to sing and praise the Lord and give thanks to everything that he was being able to do for everybody that he was helping. So this is the last interview that I was able to have with the mayor. I live in Hawaii, and I wasn't able to see him because he had been in the hospital going through all kinds of different therapy. And unbeknownst to me that he was dying, he was able to give me this last interview on the internet. This is his last words before he passed away, and I let him say everything he wanted, and I'm showing it all in this interview.
Well, it was given to me by Brother Eddie Villanueva, a pastor of Christian Church.
Okay.
And ever since I wore this, I always cross the right path.
The history of Puerto Princesa, and pretty much until you came along, there really wasn't a lot going on the island at all. There was no reason for people to visit that had been discovered. And so long after you got into mayorship, you made the underground river that you had heard about from fishermen into a UNESCO heritage site, which put that on the map worldwide instantly. And then shortly after that, the underground river came because you lobbied to get the 7 natural wonders of the world onto the map, and you did. You won. So you basically were the one that put Puerto Princesa on the map. Because I remember you saying at the beginning in 1992, there was like only one flight. And I remember when I was leaving, there was about 25 flights and tourists coming in by the tons.
Yeah.
And then I came back a couple of years later. You were out of office, you had retired. And I noticed that there wasn't a whole lot of advertisement going on and a whole lot of things promoting all the stuff that you had done. Now you've become congressman again, and you can put things back on track with Puerto Princesa.
I wasn't the one who put the city in the map of the world. It was the underground river
Yes.
that placed Puerto Princesa in the world map. When I took over, Puerto Princesa was nothing.
Right.
Our image so negative because we were only famous for malaria, or the leper colony, and also the prison camp in Iwaik.
Exactly.
And although we have so many white sand beaches, so many beautiful sceneries, but we were practically undeveloped. And the entire country is full of many similar beautiful sceneries. So why will they come to a place where it's malaria infested, where there are leper colonies here, and also prison camps?
Right.
So I thought the only thing I can do is to find a place that is unique, that we can sell to the people outside Puerto Princesa and the Philippines. That has an advantage in terms to its uniqueness. So that's when the underground river came into my mind. But the problem today, when I went to visit the underground river to start promoting it, I found out that it wasn't ours. It belongs to the national government.
Oh.
So I was so downhearted when I heard about that we cannot even enter the park, even if it's within our territory, because it belongs to the national government.
Ah.
So how can I promote something that's not ours? So the first thing I did was I took a leave of absence. I went to Manila and worked for the transfer of that park to our local government. And I succeeded with the help of the help of the Lord, we were able to get the management of the park, and that started everything. It was included in the World Heritage Site of UNESCO. It was declared as a Man Biosphere environmental uniqueness.
Yes.
And also, later on, was declared as the new 7 Wonders of Nature. And that started everything to promote Puerto Princesa. And we're lucky that we are a place where there's no earthquake, no typhoon,
Right.
and no calamity. So people started coming in.
Yeah.
Relocating.
What, from 20,000 to 297,000? That's quite a few people.
That's right.
Hey,
Well, now after resting for almost 8 years, so many sad things happened in Palawan, in Puerto Princesa especially, because for the first time we were hit by a tremendous calamity, which is the COVID-19 pandemic. And then, while still recovering from that pandemic, we were hit by a very strong typhoon. The first of its kind in so many years. I think about 50 years ago was the strongest typhoon we had. And I was surprised that it came at a time when everybody was still suffering from the pandemic. So Puerto Princesa was down. There was no activity here. I started with only one flight a day. And then I ended up with 27 flights a day of different airlines coming in. But when I stepped down, and after this pandemic, and after this typhoon, it's almost zero flight a day.
Yeah, I noticed you have a
I'm only
beautiful.
very sad.
You have a beautiful new airport.
Well, I'm lucky. I don't know if. Yes, that airport was immediately constructed when we won the New Seven Wonders of Nature, because we cannot control the tourists anymore.
Yeah.
Imagine. Yes.
I remember.
From only about 1,000 tourists a year before. When we won, it's almost 500,000, 600,000 tourists.
It's incredible, incredible. Well, you basically put forth.
But I'm lucky that when after resting for a while, people keep on coming and telling me we're having a hard time now with the pandemic and with typhoon. So please come back to us and help us rebuild Puerto Princesa. Well, I gave in to their request and I decided to run this time for Congress.
Yes, tell me about that.
I'm happy to report that immediately after we took our oath of office, the airplanes, the visitors kept coming back.
Oh, that's fantastic.
All of a sudden, our airport was full again. So I can only thank God for that.
Well, you're quite a magnet, sir, for bringing people to Puerto Princesa.
Now we're having so many tourists again. Every province with the hotels again.
Yes.
Reservations and everything. Well, this is exactly a new horizon for me, Sir, today. Because, I wasn't able to finish school.
Yes.
And to become a later, they say you must be a lawyer. But, well, I'm happy to report also that in my first 6 months, 3 of the bills, one of the 3 bills that I sponsored already made it to the Senate. It's just waiting for the approval of the Senate in 8 months' time.
And what's the bill about?
To pass a law.
Yeah, what is it?
There are 2 more. Yes.
What is it about, the one you just passed?
Well, it might look funny for others, but for me, it's very sacred. Because in March 10 or 30, that's 2011, the pastors and the priests came to me requesting me as mayor of the city to declare Puerto Princesa as the city of the living God. Because they said, God, that there are so many city of flowers, city of dreams, but this time they want Puerto Princesa to be declared city of the living God because of the many blessings that we received, especially when we won the New 7 Wonders of Nature.
Yes.
And not only that, because we are outside the typhoon belt, and we're also outside the earthquake zone. So that's enough blessing to thank God for. So they approached me and requested me to pass a resolution declaring Puerto Princesa as the city of the living God. So we did that through a resolution. And after that, we constructed the welcome ark before the airport.
Oh, beautiful.
And, immediately after that ark was finished, that was the time we won in the New 7 Wonders of Nature. And the people started coming in, the economy started jumping. And well, I attribute this to our declaration of the City of the Living God. But the problem, after I stepped down, they forgot about it. They did not even bother to renew the paint, repaint the art that we built. And they left it unattended. That's the time.
Wow.
Pandemic came in.
That's
and
sad.
the typhoon.
Yeah.
So when I took over immediately, the first bill I passed was the bill declaring March 10 of every year as a holiday in celebration of the peace of the City of the Living God.
And paint that sign too.
I was surprised because normally a bill takes 1-2 years before it passes the second reading and the third reading. But here, today, in 8 months' time,
Wow.
it passed through the third reading. It was approved in the third reading, and now it's in the Senate, waiting for their approval. And I am confident this will pass before this year ends.
What else is
And
on?
then there's another bill that passed
Yes.
declaring Spratly Islands as a marine protected area. You see, this is a controversial area in South China Sea where China has its own claim and other countries are claiming part of this. But nobody is thinking about the protection of this very important gem of nature. Spratleys is the breeding ground of all the fish that benefits Malaysia, Taiwan, Indonesia, Vietnam, China Sea especially, China especially. But there is no law passed to protect that area from destruction. So the first thing I did, also second bill I passed, was the bill declaring Spratly Islands as a marine protected area. This has caused a lot of controversy because, we've been receiving calls from different fishermen, from Chinese officials. But I'm pushing through with this because I know this is very important.
It is.
If we lose the breeding ground of fish in Spratleys, we will have there will be a fishery collapse in that part of the region. And it may even lead to starvation because 34% of the world's coral reefs is found in the Spratly Islands. About 3,000 species of fish.
I didn't know
And
that.
it's really very important that we protect it.
Absolutely.
Yes, now it's on the second reading. It has been approved by the Committee on Environment, but hopefully it will be approved by the Senate.
Well, all the things you've done, Edward, have affected so many thousands and thousands of lives. And I just want to add, since I've known you, it's been 13 years. I remember the first week I met you, you talked to me and then you had me out with Jerry Ortega and then picking me up and bringing me along with you to the barangays. Me being picked up at 5:30 in the morning and getting to your place of work about 6 o'clock and seeing you doing exercises on the treadmill, and I'm trying to wake up. And so I get home that night about 1 o'clock in the morning, and the next morning again, 5:30 in the morning, back to see Mr. Hagedorn. And that's all you've done 6 days a week since I've known you. And even when you were out of office, I understood that you were selling land to even help the poor people when you were out of office. Is that correct?
Correct, that's right. Everything I can do to ease the lives of our people, I do it. Even in the dispensation of justice, I always dispense justice with compassion. I do not treat them as enemies, but as victims of society. So if there are any violation, I don't treat them as enemies, but victims. And we give them the best justice system we can give.
Yeah. You've done an amazing job.
Although, yeah.
You've done an amazing job, Edward. Congressman Edward. Yeah. What you've accomplished is...
with the help of people and also with the help of God. You know, I always think that everything that happened to Puerto Princesa is providential. Without him up there, we won't succeed.
I agree 100%. Well, it's been nice talking to you, Edward. I just wanted to catch up on all the things that you've been doing, and it amazes me somewhat, but I'm really not amazed because you're the only person that I know of in the Philippines that does as much as anybody can do 24/7, 7 days a week, out of love. I would truly say you're a man that loves his people, loves the land. Yeah. God bless you, sir.
And well, it is also because of people like you who really cooperate with us and who believe in our direction and try to support us in any way they can.
Thank you.
It's not a one-man job, a one-man army job. You know, it's a total cooperation of all the stakeholders, our people, and our visitors, our friends. It's a concerted effort of everybody, and of course, with the help of God.
Well,
thank you very much for the time, certainly. I hope you can come back to the Philippines. Let's one more time go around and
absolutely. I'm coming in 2 weeks.
Memorable past.
2 weeks I'll be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll wait for you.
I'll talk to you. God bless you, Edward. Love you.
God bless.
Bye-bye, sir.
Mabuhay.
Mabuhay, yeah.
So this is the viewing that everybody in the city came to see. This is the last footage that I have since he passed away. Everybody coming to give their respects from the entire city. Everybody here probably had their lives in one way or another touched by the mayor doing something kind to help them. Flowers filled the whole room up, from everybody that loved the mayor sending beautiful arrangements, hundreds of them. It's interesting that when someone passes away, you relive all the moments that you had shared with them. They just kind of go through your mind like clouds coming out of nowhere. The 14 years that I knew the mayor, and now a congressman, I had the pleasure of meeting so many people through him, and so many of his people that work for him helping me to make this movie. The casket was being carried in for everybody to view. I was left with all the thoughts that I had over the 13 years that I had known this man. And he was definitely one of a kind. I would never forget him for the kindness he not only showed to me, but he showed to every individual that he ever met, and that I had met with him. He was a man of his word, and all he ever did every day was to think of what he could do to help his people and his land. He certainly did that. It was an experience that I would never forget, and I'm proud to be able to capture all of what I had seen to make this movie, The City in a Forest. A true story telling about a man that loved his people, loved his city, and all the people's lives he had touched, and my life was one of them. Everybody's coming to view the casket. I pay my respects, and remember many thoughts about all that I've known about this man. While I'm doing it, the family, Mrs. Hagedorn Ellen and his son Elroy, and the other members, are having their last viewing of the casket themselves. So as the casket being carried out, the family is following behind in a procession. We can see all the flowers being rained down by the helicopters, dropping them to the thousands of people that have all come lined up to view the congressman. He certainly was a very loved man. So this is how my movie came about. I started out filming in Bali, Indonesia to make all of the different festivals and ceremonies on all the different islands in the Pacific Ocean for Netflix. But along the way, I stopped in a place called Puerto Princesa and met the mayor, and now Congressman Edward S. Hagedorn, and it changed my life. My movie now became his life story, The City in the Forest. I'm honored to share this movie for everybody to see. About a man that made a difference to thousands of people, and to this world we all live in. About a man that loved the earth, loved the environment, and made a difference for all of us to enjoy. God bless you, Edward S. Hagedorn. mayor, congressman, and my friend.
How was the award conceived?
I conceived that as early as 2016.
Okay.
And we had merienda here.
Okay.
We had a small party here with a handful of my best friends during my birthday on October 24. And I announced that I wanted to launch the Ed Hagedorn Eco Governance Award. And he declined. He said, no, don't, not yet. So we just held recognition events. The city in the forest, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's like, that's why I'm writing a paper, and I'm writing a paper of what are the things that we can do to face, embrace, and ace the climate crisis. And the examples I am setting are Singapore, Costa Rica, Bhutan, and Puerto Princesa.
Right.
These are examples of what countries can do.
That made a difference so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to launch that Ed Hagedorn Eco Governance Roll of Honor in Hawaii. It's an international, I'll make it an international award, international recognition, international honor.
Korean